All right. So our bonus for this week is a Twitter post by a friend of ours, friend of the podcast, Joe Garza.
What up, Joey?
Hey. And he posted this New York Times opinion article entitled, "Should Classic Rock Songs Be Toppled Like Confederate Statues?" Yeah. So
Okay. No, because this could get heavy really fast.
yeah, I figure
metal.
I'll read a little bit of it and just some highlights, and maybe
Okay.
we'll just.
So is this from the article or is this what Joe said?
No, this is from the article.
The article. Okay.
We could say what Joe and I said, if you want, but let's see. Let me find some good highlights here. The Rolling Stones quietly removed the song "Brown Sugar" from their current U.S. tour set list.
Okay, keep going. Keep going. Sorry.
The
Of course they did.
Racist lyrics, which refer to slave ships and rape, have been controversial since the song was first a hit in 1971, the same year as American Pie. And yet, the guitarist Keith Richards, when asked about the removal, seemed a little uneasy with the decision. Quote, "I'm trying to figure out with the sisters quite where the beef is. Didn't they understand this was a song about the horrors of slavery?" There are a lot of things I revere about Brown Sugar, and Mr. Richards' guitar riffs not least. But I can tell you that in 50 years, it has not once occurred to me that that song might even be remotely about the empowerment of black women. If the Stones don't know why the song has to go, does simply removing it from their tour sheet go far enough?
Off with their heads.
I want to live in a world where I can be moved by art and music and literature without having to come up with elaborate apologies for that work or for its creators.
Swing them from the gallows.
Let's see. Are there any others? It also talks about. It starts off by talking about American Pie. You know the Don McLean song. Long time ago. I don't remember when. And how the song is supposed to be, you know, this beautiful anthem of an era, and with all these metaphors and everything. Maybe some people call it the greatest song ever written, but unfortunately, apparently he was rather abusive to his ex-wife.
Who called it the greatest song ever written?
Many people.
Many.
You haven't heard that? Whether you agree with it or not, you're not
I've
aware
never
of that
heard
as an
this.
idea.
I think the concept of the greatest song ever is just a silly notion too, though. Like what?
Sure, I agree with you. I actually have a theory that Jolene by Dolly Parton is objectively the greatest song ever written.
Oh my god. Okay. Go ahead.
But hang on, it's a side thing. We could actually get into that too. That seems like a good bonus topic. But anyway, so the article, this article about toppling classic rock, just like those Confederate statues, starts by talking about the American Pie and how it is a great song. However, Don McLean was abusive to his ex-wife and was found guilty of abuse of his ex-wife. So what do you do with that?
What do we do?
Do you topple the song? Like a
We
Confederate
should
statue?
blot the Rolling Stones from history. Get me a big bottle of whiteout, and I'll take care of it.
Should we blot their songs too?
Big bottle of whiteout.
Their songs too, or just the
Their
band?
entire history?
Well, because there was that whole
Just
thing
take
with
them
Harry
off
Potter
of Wikipedia?
when J.K. Rowling was being called a TERF and all that. The idea was that because her books were so beloved to people were going to keep reading the books, but not say the author's name and pretend that they'd never heard of the author and didn't know who the author was.
That's weird.
Yeah. So they'd be like, these books, Harry Potter, by whoever the author is.
That's weird.
Yeah. So maybe we should do that. Maybe we should listen to I Can't Get No Satisfaction, but we should be like, who's the song by again? Oh, I don't remember.
That seems like a very honest and a very honest approach with a lot of integrity and reflection, self-examination. That's great. Dude, I don't like.
Okay. Well,
What's gonna happen?
Here was my response.
We just got to get rid of all of history. We need to reset to year 2022 now, and everyone just download the new set of rules, and we just comply, and then we have a perfect society.
Yeah.
Everything's
all right, well,
fine.
Here was my response. What do you think about this?
What's your response?
When the author asks if it is enough that the Rolling Stones pull an offensive song from their tour, that captures the moral confusion of the whole article. Is it enough according to whose standard? The current push for moral collectivism is really maddening.
Yeah. See, that's very articulate. Good job.
Oh.
It is maddening.
Well, thank you. Yeah, I think so.
Yes,
it is maddening. Okay, I see.
It is maddening. Everything's like, man, we're all gonna face the judgment. The judgment is coming for us all.
Uh-oh.
I hope you've been pure. Because so this is what I'm saying though, is like, it's really becoming, so these songs, let's say that we get rid of brown sugar. Yeah. Right? We get rid of...
I love how much you laughed when that was...
Dude, because like that song has come up numerous times in numerous conversations, right? And I remember like the first time I like listened to the lyrics, I was like, wait a minute, how is this like... What? Right? I'm like, everyone's cool with this?
Yeah.
Oh, I guess this is fine. Okay. Right? Yeah. Like it's kind of startling, right? But it's like, okay, well, they're a rock band. Right. So I guess rock
I like
bands...
that she brought that song in there, particularly like halfway through the article, because she goes on and on and on about Don McLean and American Pie. Mm-hmm. Basically, the whole article is about Don McLean and American Pie.
And then she just throws the Stones in there as well.
It's like, she's like, I don't think this is coming across right. I don't think my point's hitting home.
What about Sweet Home Alabama?
What about it?
Skinner.
What about it?
Do they have to be canceled?
Yeah. Well, all the Confederate flags, you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But this is what I'm saying. Like, it's
but
like
half
now
of them
it's
are
like,
dead anyway.
So, but this is the problem. Like, is it like the song itself? But then if they did that song, right? Is there any reconciliation to people that are offended by it? Why does that matter? Doesn't matter.
Well, right? I would say it doesn't matter. So my favorite, I have a quote of Christopher Hitchens, who I thought was a brilliant thinker, great orator, unfortunately dead now. But he used to say, "Why should I care if you're offended? Being offended is the most boring statement a person can make. It isn't an argument, and it doesn't express anything except your hurt feelings on the matter. Tell me something. Don't tell me you're offended."
Tell me something. Don't tell me you're offended.
That isn't a quote. I'm expressing.
I like
the
that.
Sentiment.
Can I use that for my 2024 run?
Please.
Yes. That's totally going to get me at least 3 more votes.
Yeah.
Y'all better watch out.
Yeah.
So, yeah, but we have to cancel all of that, right?
All
like
of what?
This is the problem. Because once you start the purge, right? Then it's like you're saying, like, where's the line? They say, oh, now you're cleansed, right? How do we determine that? Isn't that what it's turned like? I mean, because to be fair, like the Confederate statue thing.
Yeah.
Right. That's like not even a question to me. Like, my opinion is, if I was Lincoln, when I got General Lee, and he's like, I surrender, I'm like, cool, man. So you want me to shoot you in the head, or you want to swing?
Right.
Right.
But
like, I don't understand like this whole thing of like,
Lincoln had no basis for doing that war.
What do you mean no basis?
Like, what Lincoln did was way illegal.
Oh, according to like the precedent, you're saying, of the law.
According to the precedent of law, also according to constitutional standard. States before that were, in theory, allowed to secede if they wanted to.
Whoa, really?
Oh, yeah.
How? So when did it become wrong to break off from the Union then? After the Civil War?
The Civil War.
So they basically said, no, you're not going to do it like that. We're going to make different rules. That's that.
Yep.
Are you sure? Are you sure?
Yep, yes.
So it was lawful. It was lawful for them to say, we're going to start the Confederacy.
I've told you about that. We talked about this in a previous episode. So there are a number of states that when they joined the United States, when they signed...
Oh, they had like an opt-out clause.
They had an opt-out clause. Plus, there were writings of several of the original signatories of the Constitution, including Thomas Jefferson and James Madison, saying that if a state is to ever want to leave the Union of the United States, the right thing to do is to let them secede.
So,
there is
but also,
no reason for the... All it will do will be increase division within the United States to force a state to stay in that does not want to be a part of the United States.
But that was more of a... I want to say it's like a moral war, right?
What was? The Civil War?
The Civil War.
I don't think so.
Like, isn't that part of what we're taught? It was the North versus the South, or the idea of slavery.
Yeah.
And that's pretty much it.
I don't think so.
What was it about then?
I think it was about the monetary value of those slaves. So it was sort of over slavery, sure. It was the North wanted all of that labor.
Mm-hmm.
And the North was also
they wanted everyone to come up north to work, you're saying?
Yeah, I mean, the North was entirely about labor. The entire idea of the North of the country was puritanical labor.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
The South was a very different world.
More agrarian.
More agrarian, slave owning also, but the entire system of education and work ethic and...
But see, like...
And,
I guess what I'm saying is, like,
and Puritanism didn't exist in the South in the same way.
Like you were saying, the Nuremberg trials, right? So if it's the same idea of like I was just following orders, like I would think that there comes a point where legality and morality like come to an impasse. Like it could be legal to refuse admission to a person to a hospital, right? And I don't know if that's for treatment yet. I don't know. I would be curious if it became that, right? But then you could argue like that the legality doesn't matter because it's immoral, right?
Right.
Whereas like I would consider slavery an immoral act.
I agree.
Right. So if that becomes the law that slavery is okay, I'm going to become a lawbreaker because I'm not down with that. You know?
Well, I mean, slavery being legal and slavery being mandated are different.
Sure. But it was legal back.
Yeah.
Like pre-Civil War, right?
Yes.
Like this is the thing. Like
not in all states, but yeah.
Well, but all the founding fathers had slaves, I thought.
Mm-hmm.
Like all of them, right? Like
I believe so.
Probably Lincoln even had one or two. You know, I'm sure when they dig it.
He did. He had servants. He had indentured servants. He did.
Indentured servants, is that what they called them?
Mm-hmm.
Is that a good gig?
I don't think so.
I wonder if it's better. Like
better than what?
Well, I mean, you don't have to make any of your own decisions.
Well, Thaddeus Russell writes about this. Okay, so there is this duality. Thaddeus Russell writes about this in the Renegade History of the United States: the freedom in slavery and the slavery in freedom.
That's you just said a lot right there.
Yeah,
that's enough.
Too much for a bonus episode. But if anybody's interested, this book is fascinating. I'm like halfway through it. It's a 900-page book.
But that's really but that's terrifying.
It's called The Renegade History of the United States. It's very cool.
That's a terrifying concept, though.
Yeah.
Because then you're saying like don't give everyone all their choice.
He's not saying don't. He's not making a statement of what you should or shouldn't do. He's making a statement that these ideas are more complex than we think they are. And the free North, people were enslaved by the amount of labor that they had to do because the North was about expansion west. So the North was about homesteading and setting up and pushing the line between us and the Native Americans further and further west. And so the amount of labor, I mean, these people were working 9-10 hours a day kind of a thing and making the U.S. money. I mean, working hard for the United States versus the South. When you have enslaved people, you can't push them that hard. It doesn't work. So work days were shorter. There were all sorts of weird rules about like weekends off, and like it was a very different world.
Interesting. I don't really know much about all of this.
Right, and because it's crazy. There were after the Civil War, there were groups of former slaves petitioning the U.S. government to reinstate slavery because they got free health care free room and board.
Oh no, you're kidding.
That's true. This isn't most. It's not. This wasn't a majority of anybody.
What?
But that idea existed.
So like you're saying like that's like sounding like Book of Exodus type, you know, like you know what I'm talking about? Moses goes down to Egypt, gets them all out, and they're like, oh, at least when we were hanging out there, we had leeks and onions to eat.
Yeah.
Now we don't have any...
Exactly. Yep.
Dude, I don't want to hear this right now. This is too much, man. Because this is what I'm saying. It's inevitable. Because even
what's inevitable?
Oh, everything. It's inevitable.
Everything is inevitable.
Everything is inevitable.
That's
it's
crazy.
Inevitable.
That's a meaningless statement. That doesn't even mean anything.
Everything is inevitable. It will all come to pass.
Anything.
So we will make progress in our lives. We will make progress in our society. We will also decline in our lives. We also will decline in society.
Yes.
Everything is just cycles, and it's just like how hard do we want it to swing? That's really what it is. It's cycles. That's all it is.
But why are you saying everything?
Because everything will happen.
Because you can think of 10 things that are cycles?
Everything's a cycle.
Why, how do you know everything's a cycle?
I don't know. I just believe.
Is your base a cycle?
Yeah, because like, whoa, wait, what? How's it a cycle?
I don't know. You just said everything's a cycle. You said everything's a cycle.
Well, the base is inanimate, but the base has its own cycle of life. It was created somewhere in Europe.
No.
At some point,
but you said
Atlantic.
Everything. Hang on. You said everything. So
yes,
the base
I
must
did
be
say.
a cycle.
I know I said everything. What about it? What about it?
Is everything a cycle?
So, but I'm saying is like, that's an object that was created.
Are objects cycles?
No, but they represent cycles.
So not everything.
When I say everything, obviously, like
I did, it wasn't obvious. That's why I asked everything,
What do you mean
and you
it's
said
not
yes,
obvious?
everything. I asked you.
You're trying to make me sound silly. You're trying to make me sound silly right now, and I don't appreciate it.
Well, you are wearing sunglasses inside.
I'm putting my hoodie back on. I've had enough of this. Put my hoodie back on.
All right. Well, I think that's our bonus. I think we got kind of heavy in this bonus.
Yeah.
You're getting your money's worth.
Life is heavy. Yeah. Pick it up. Golly. Do some weightlifting.